Bump, 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 bump. Hi, everybody. Welcome to bonus content. This is an extreme angle. I didn't really notice it until I looked over at the camera and saw it's like when you're like feeding yourself with a fork, but you stop looking, and eventually the fork just starts going into your cheek because you're just so hungry you haven't stopped. But it's at a weird angle. That's all.
What?
You know the camera, Tony, that looks at me? Do you ever look at me during the show?
You want me to?
No, I'm just curious. I just haven't thought about it. You ever just look me dead in the eye and be like, fuck you? I want to imagine every time you tell me to fuck myself during this podcast, which is not that often, but every time it happens.
It's often enough.
It's often enough. I want to imagine that you stop whatever you're doing on your computer, whatever game you're clearly playing. You pull up Discord, you look directly at me in the camera, and you just say, fuck you. Welcome to bonus content. I'm Alex, Tony's here, Nobishin's here, Scott's here. We're all here. It's all of us. How are you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good.
How's your week, Scott?
Same as usual?
We saw each other this week, though.
Oh, okay. Not the same as usual.
What
I forgot about that.
What happened Tuesday night that facilitated you coming out and hanging out for a moment to see a movie?
You not doing it in the middle of the day?
Yeah, I thought you were at school all Tuesday night.
Not Tuesday night.
Okay.
Tuesday till around 5. I don't get home till like 6.
Okay.
But, you know.
But that's enough to that's enough to be ready to go cry at a My Hero Academia movie at 7:30.
Yeah.
We all went and saw that My Hero Academia movie.
It was pretty good.
It was really good. And I expected Tony to be there because we said that we were going to do it, but I did not expect Scott to be there. So when we went to the theater and Scott was just there, I was like so excited. I was like, fuck. Scott remembers. Yeah, that was good.
Yep.
That was a good movie. Nobishin, I'm sure you took time out of your week to go see Venom this week.
I did, yes.
Was that also a good movie going experience?
No.
I want to know, what did you think of Venom?
Why did you see it?
See, you're committed to the bit.
I'm
It's
committed.
not Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like the kind of funny guys are watching the MC or the Spider-Man movies leading up to Venom. They were gonna see it. They did see it.
There are no Spider-Man movies leading up to Venom.
Yeah, but they're just watching all the not good ones.
Pretty much all the Sony ones.
Yeah.
It's the same reason when I'm going to see Aquaman later on this month, or in December, I should say. It's the same reason because of that. That's because it's a thing to talk about. I don't watch TV shows, so I can't talk about that anymore. But I could talk movies, nerdy movies, and be part of that conversation somewhat. So
Yeah,
that's why I went and go saw it.
and I think you and I are in a similar spot where we're just like, or at least for me, I'm enjoying going and seeing movies lately.
Yeah, I am. I haven't gone as much as I used to, unfortunately, because of the whole Movie Pass thing.
Movie Pass fell apart in front of you.
Yeah, and I still haven't signed up to that AMC thing because I guess I haven't really seen like a good release window of like a consistent amount of stuff coming out. I probably have to wait for the summer or for that or something like that, or even December. December got a good amount. I want to see like Enter the Spider-Verse and Aquaman and all that shit. But yeah,
How was
I
Venom?
just haven't had. Oh, it wasn't good.
That was the thing of like, I had a very quick moment of like, should I listen to spoil this or should I go see it? And I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go see it.
There's nothing. I can't really think of anything really to spoil.
I guess like that mid-credit scene that they were talking about.
Uh,
But even still, like I feel like that was expected.
no, because that's obvious.
yeah, that's like the only thing you can do at the end of that movie, right?
Yeah, because it's like we want to, if we want to make a sequel to this, like what's the next thing we could possibly do? And it's like that's
It's the one thing that you can possibly do.
Yeah, pretty much that isn't involving Spider-Man. But yeah, I did not like that movie. I did not like that movie a lot.
You did not like that movie in a house. You did not like that movie with a mouse.
it's one of those things where it's like, because like when I get upset about like something like Batman v Superman and like Man of Steel, that's like something is like, oh, you're really good at what you're doing. You're just doing it in the wrong way, and that's why I'm just like dismissive and like I don't like those movies because of that. I'm not, but like in a certain other viewpoint, like I can see why someone will like them because it's like, oh, I'm going in for this reason. I'm willing to take in what they give me, and I can like it for that reason. So like, okay, that's fine. This is more of like it's one of those like it's an inexcusable movie as far as like there's no reason it should be this quality as far as like writing and stuff like that. Like it's kind of Amazing Spider-Man 2 again as far as like carelessness, just throwing shit at the wall and like and you can enjoy it, but it's like if you just don't give a shit about like anything, like the characters or whatever going on, like if you're just like a person who doesn't like have any reference for anything and just like went to go see it, you could probably enjoy it for what it is. Like, oh, that's kind of funny, even though it wasn't selling it to be a comedy. Oh, that's really cool that he's a hero, even though they weren't selling it as him being a hero. Not even like an anti-hero. Like he's not even like that in the movie. Mm-hmm. It's so weird. It's such a weird movie. And there's like certain elements about it just like that really just like got to me. Like there's like the way that movie climaxes, the place that they're doing it at, like you could literally look back at the animated Spider-Man movie and like, oh, that's the way you defeated Venom, and like they just completely ignore that because like for
Spider-Man's
reasons
not in that movie, you know.
But like I'm just saying though, like it's because like. It's like you're not thinking about that, and it was like there's a scene where it's like you exploit one weakness here, but like you're not using it for that part right there. When it's like the thing that like is like a really loud thing. So it's like that's just dumb. Why would you do that? That bothered me. And like pretty much all over the place. Like the actors are just like not to the fault of their own. I don't feel because like I think Tom Hardy did good for what he had, and like I really like the I guess you could say the antagonist. That's not the other symbiote, and I guess you say like the corporate guy. I liked him a lot. I like the way he carried himself. This is just his delivery. Like what he had to say, it was like just stupid. It was that type of thing. And they try to sprinkle in a little Easter eggs, like, "Oh, that's Jameson," but then like they just completely just forget about it. Don't even say if he's alive or dead or something like that. And that's just like in the beginning of the movie, so I don't think that's too much of a spoiler. But like, it's just like one of those things where it's just like, it's a corporate ass movie, like kind of like how I felt about those Spider-Man movies, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but even more so. Where it's just like, oh, you just don't care about like, any of this.
Yeah, that's a bummer. Yeah. To be fair, like I don't think at any point most people thought it wasn't going to be that. I felt,
and that's the thing too, because like when like even like looking at previews and stuff like that, and like obviously hearing about like the bad press about it, about like because like for me this probably won't even be like it to be as good as it wants to be. It has to be like if it was a good movie, I would say it is as good, quote unquote, as like Amazing Spider-Man, which I don't think is a good movie, but like it'll be that level of good if it's actually good. Mm-hmm. And that's how I just like thought of it in my head. But like it just like even went below my expectations, and weirdly enough, so like and my expectations was super low for that movie. So.
I'm really excited to watch it like drunk on a Thursday afternoon when it's on HBO.
Dude, I went with Tony and I was like, yo, man, this movie's gonna be trash, so we need to junk the fuck out. And you got some gummy worms and shit like that. Oh man, that was the good experience.
The good part of it, yeah. Yeah. Did you drop your Reese's Pieces on the ground?
No, I didn't go that far.
I've been with Joey Noelle when she has done shit like that, and it is true that she's fucking paralyzed with laughter. It's very funny.
Because she's around someone who does it all the time.
Exactly. Like, can you blame her? Cool. The My Hero Academia movie was great. We talked about it a little bit in text after I saw it. And we both had big points at the same time, which I appreciated. Mm-hmm. My coworker, who I was originally going to see it with, I told him, like, listen, You have to go see it after I saw it, and he also had the same reaction to the same moment. So it was nice to talk about that. What did you think of it, Tony?
It was pretty good.
Pretty good. It did feel like a very long episode of the show.
Yeah,
or
it felt like about 6 episodes.
Yeah, it felt like a mini arc, which honestly, like, it works for that show because like that show moves at such a quick pace that you're pretty much in and out of an arc in any given 6 episodes. So the fact that this movie just kind of felt like one of those really worked in its favor. It did feel like maybe a little bloated at one point. But like I like the characters so much, and you get to see like these different character interactions that you don't see in the show or haven't seen in the show yet, that it like really made up for it for me. No Sue though. Spoilers, but no spoilers.
Dude.
Sue gets sidelined. It's bullshit.
That was bullshit.
She's gonna be the hero of the next movie. I'm deciding it for you right now. But it was really cool for me because after I watched it, I went home and I immediately watched the 5 episodes or 6 episodes that I was behind on the show on. And the first episode I watched, it's like the second filler episode they've done, but it like references into the movie. It feels like it kind of ties the plot together. Like it makes the movie feel like it's a canon part of the show, which it can be a canon part of the show because obviously it's not part of the manga, but just like with it's just like I don't know a fucking anime that's done that. Like I'm thinking of the Naruto movies, and there's only like 2 that I think like they ever directly reference.
Inuyasha did it, but
okay,
not very good.
Okay, fair enough. I've not watched any of the Inuyasha movies. So. But yeah, I like that. And I caught up on the show, and the show's very good. I've got news for all of you. There's some twists and turns and some emotional climaxes that very much worked for me. Nothing new for My Hero Academia, but fuck, that show's so good.
The female main character needs to be canon. Yeah,
Melissa. Did you see it in Japanese? No, you didn't. You saw it in English as well.
No, I saw it next to you.
No, I was asking Nabashin. I know. The best part was every time Deku and Melissa were like at all close, I would just nudge Tony and look at him and be like, eh?
You'd be like, eh?
To be fair, you were totally into it.
Fuck later.
And at some point, I don't know if it was you right next to me or someone else in the movie theater, but like when Melissa gets like cut and she's like laying on the ground and Deku's like sitting down next to her, I heard somebody go, kiss, like very quietly in the theater.
But I wish it was me.
It was very funny. It was awesome. Yeah. I wish I was sandwiched between you and Scott because then I would have been doing that to both of you guys. But yeah, that was fun. That's the only interesting thing I did this week, I think. Yes. Tony, you getting any other shenanigans?
No, this week was just working and I did that.
Mm-hmm. I got to see your car.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice car. It looks better when it's not nighttime.
Yeah. It's a sexy car. It's a nice blue. I liked it. Nabashin, you getting any other shenanigans this week?
Nah, it's been a rough week, more or less. For various reasons. Just like a bunch of mental shit with me. But other than that, it's been just work. I've been off for the last 2 days, and do inventory tomorrow. Then I'm off for another 2 days. So.
Nice. That's pretty good, though.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could play some Assassin's Creed Odyssey in that downtime. We'll see.
But I just got Game Pass.
Oh yeah. Okay, we should talk about that too. Have you played any Forza?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it.
Okay, cool. I played very little as well. So, that's all I got. You guys want to just start the show?
How dare you say that to me?
Start the show. Tony, would you like to start the show?
No.
All right. Everything's canceled. Shut it down.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Hang tight.
You're good. Let me get my handrails on. I'm hanging so tight. I'm curious. This is a personal question while we wait for Tony. How long do you guys let your nails get?
Pretty long.
Pretty long? Wait,
Not very.
not very. I think I'm more in your camp, Scott. They're like,
You know,
yeah,
that like those like ladies who go for like the world record on longest.
on long.
I let mine get like that.
Really, you're just like
Yeah, dude. I just like
curled
no
around your
care.
toes.
Don't care at all.
I should clarify my fingernails. I don't let my toenails get long.
Okay. I always talk about fingernails as well, which good clarification, good catch.
Yeah. But like I like my nails. Like usually there's like probably a situation comes like once a month where like someone who doesn't have nails at all can't pick up something and I'm the one who picks it up.
Yeah, I like there are definitely things, especially like at work now too. There are things where I'm like, I really wish I had like a little bit of nail for this, but I'm usually in that spot. I'm at the point where I would say they were like a little less than medium length, but I can feel like like gunk under them. I can feel it all the time.
Yeah, that bugs me. But I clean them constantly. But
It's only so much a year. So yeah, I definitely I'm just at that point where like I feel it and I'm like, I gotta cut my nails. The thing is like cutting your nails takes like a minute and a half, and I can never make time for it. It's one of those terrible things. I gotta be better about it. All right, you ready, Tony?
Yeah.
Cool. Everybody got Audacity ready?
Yeah.
All right. On one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got this nice plain seltzer. Super Deformed Gamecast was in the chat, and they said, "What's up, boys? What up, boys?"
Hello.
I don't know Super Deformed Gamecast. I don't know who that might be.
Do you think they're deformed?
I hope not. What does that mean?
Do you think like the sequel is Super Reformed Gamescast?
Is Super Deformed Gamescast? I think so. I think you're onto something, Tony. Or maybe the Super Deformed Gamescast turns into the Super Reformed Gamescast because it deforms and then reforms.
Isn't that what I said?
No.
I mean, I think you're on the right track applying the deform to the cast.
Yeah.
Instead of the person typing.
Yeah. It's clearly it's a sentient podcast. All right, let's nice pregnant pause. Let's get started.
Are you gonna start yet?
Yes. It is Saturday, October 6th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast, a video games podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Scott Guthier.
You're lying to me.
Tony Horvath.
Stop lying to Scott.
And Brian Nabashin Jackson.
3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me?
What's bothering you, Nabashin?
It's Jello.
I knew it! Is it like the Jello, the brand? Because you're like, why would a brand named Jello make pudding? Or is
No, it's because Bill Cosby's a scumbag, and I used to get compared to Bill Cosby all the time in my younger years.
Oh, yeah. But like that was when it was like an innocent comparison.
Yeah, that's before all the bad shit happened.
Are you sure it's not just that your jelly won't stay dry? It's just wet all the time and falls apart.
I would like to think of it being related. Scott, why am I lying to you?
At this point, I forget.
Okay, fair
Not
enough.
important.
Then let's just get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Irrational Passions Podcast.
Hello.
It's a podcast where we talk about video games, me and my good friends here. And we got quite the video games to talk about this week. I'm excited. New games came out. Some old games are out. I played games. Y'all played games. We're going to talk about them. Before we talk about them, let's just take a dip our toe in the housekeeping realm of things. Rational
You
Passion.
say dip our toe, what do you mean?
I'm going to just list off some names of some things that you can read on a website, and then we're going to dip that toe right back out.
Okay.
Irrational Passions Podcast is a product of IrrationalPassions.com, a video game website. A website with video games on it that get written about. And on that website, some things went up this week that I want to tell you about. If you're into that sort of thing, a couple of things I want to throw out. They happened kind of last week, but I just want to put a little reminder out for them. Podcast Ultimate, our Super Smash Bros. Ultimate podcast, episode 3 is out now. We had Blessing Adeoye Jr. on. He loves Smash Brothers as much, if not more, than myself, Mike, and Scott. So it was a good conversation. And the third episode of our Batman video game book club went out. Again, just to reiterate, I know I mentioned this stuff on the last episode of the podcast, but the book club that we do every month now, we split a game into 3 checkpoints. And this was the last checkpoint for Batman. So we finished Batman Arkham Asylum, and we talked about it, and we talked about it like in comparison to Spider-Man and things like that. And it was a really great conversation. I think that was our best episode yet. And we announced our next game, which is Dead Space 2, which I started playing this week. It's very good. Dead Space 2 is very good, guys. But yeah, we're going to record the first episode of that book club this weekend, and hopefully it'll be out next week. So book club is a fun new show that we're doing. Scott White reviewed Victor Vran. It's like a Diablo-like, I believe. And I think he might have played it on Switch. I'm not positive, but he seemed to like it quite a bit. And a new episode of Input was about the kind of indie situation we're in and how a lot of independent studios are running into trouble. It was a good conversation. I'm also pretty much caught up on editing the podcast. I'm still a little bit behind, but if you've been looking for the audio versions of the show, they should all be out there for the most part now. Just this last week, I'm still finishing up, but thank you everyone for your patience with that. But that's it. That's all on IrrationalPassions.com. You can go check that out there. Let's talk about some video games. Talk about the games we've been playing. Who wants to go first? Let me throw it out there. Anybody in particular?
All right, I'll go first.
All right, Scott, hit me with it. What you been playing?
Okay, and I'm done.
Same old?
Basically.
How do you feel about League of
I
Legends
booted
this
up.
week?
And how great do you feel?
That's a leading question.
I've been doing the same shit that I've been normally doing.
Play some Mundo.
Well,
I gotcha.
Pick Phil. Pick a champion, and sometimes just take Mundo wherever I feel.
Fair enough. I respect that. Okay. What were you gonna say before I interrupted you?
I booted up some Into the Breach.
Mm-hmm.
I failed.
Yeah. How far did you get?
Second island.
Okay. That's about where I fail if it's a bad run. I'm gonna let you know. I haven't been playing as much, but sometimes in bed I'll cuddle up around Into the Breach, which is a terrible idea. It's not a game that you can cuddle up around.
No, especially if you're trying to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
You just start getting stressed out, and the will to fall asleep is gone.
And it has like that Civ effect of like, just one more mission maybe. Like maybe just one more.
At the very least until you lose.
Yeah, exactly. And before you know it, it's 4 a.m. But that game's great, so I don't even care. Okay, cool. Anything else of note, or is that it? I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, it's a no. I keep forgetting to order the cable off of Amazon, so much so that I managed to have. I guess I missed some bonus content.
Mm-hmm.
The house got fleas because
No.
What?
Well, it's the area around the house. When we called the exterminator, they're like, "Yeah, your house isn't infested, but if you've been getting fleas on your dog, it's definitely outside."
Mm.
And then when we saw a couple deer in the yard, and it's like, "Yeah, it's probably the deer that you have around."
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to spray the yard like a lot.
Man,
Maybe spray the deer too.
imagine little bugs on you that made you itchy. Like that sounds.
Well, they don't. They're not bed bugs. So they don't bite.
Don't fleas bite? Didn't I watch a Tom and Jerry cartoon where a flea bit Tom a whole lot?
Well, you see,
Tom and
they-
Jerry.
There were fleas on that show, probably.
No. Yeah, there was a Looney Tune one. Where,
Yeah, the Looney Tune one is the one I'm thinking of.
Yes. Food around the corner.
Yes.
Okay.
they don't exactly bite.
Okay. But they make you itchy.
I mean, they can bite, and they just generally don't,
Mm-hmm.
because at the very least they don't bite you because they're not interested in you.
Damn, cold, but fair.
Lice are interested in you, but
Yeah.
not fleas.
Never had lice, so thank God. That
They
sucks.
can't give you tapeworm, right?
Really? Yeah. Oh, I've never had a tapeworm either, so
So
I'm 2
the
for
area
2.
around my house has fleas.
Yeah.
Because we have deer,
so you're
like a lot of deer.
so the exterminators are coming, I imagine, just to shoot the
So,
deer, just to kill the deer.
when I went out, I went to a different Best Buy to see if they had the cable
Yeah.
for DVI to HDMI, and they didn't.
Of course they didn't.
It's getting to the point where I'm looking around and the only DVI to HDMI connectors are DVI-D, and I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't know which one I have. What I do know is that the one that I have there's essentially I think it's 8 pins. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's 10 pins, but it's like a set of 8. It's 2 sets of 8 pins,
Mm.
and kind of a line.
Sounds like it's just a standard DVI.
It looks like a standard DVI,
Yeah.
and the only ones that seem to go for HDMI to DVI are the
The newer ones, like the 4K ones.
Are the DVI-Ds.
Yeah. It's all right.
So
Just go to
I
Monoprice,
have
man.
something we'll call standard.
You know what?
And,
I'll text you this week to remind you to go on Amazon and order that fucking cord.
Yeah.
That way you can start playing PS4 games. Cool. Thank you for the update, Scott. I just want to probe a little bit more. Who else wants to talk about playing video games? Anybody else? I always decide, so I'm just giving. This is my that one time the dictator.
It's okay. I'll decide.
Okay.
All right. Nabshin, you're going next.
Nabishin, video games. What
Alright.
video games do you play? How do you get
What?
in the game?
Uh,
EA. Brand. I don't know. Which
Brand.
Brand. EA.
Oh.
Remember their branding was like get in the game for their sports.
Oh,
It's in the game.
Oh, you're right.
Their slogan was.
It's in the game. God, what a fucking terrible slogan.
What do you think EA's motto is?
Like internally,
Yeah.
get this shit out.
Yeah. Sure.
Hurry up is their internal motto.
I think the motto is buy lawyers to fight for loot boxes.
Yeah, right. Please, before Sweden or Switzerland or whatever shuts us down, we need to get these loot boxes out. What you been playing, Abishin?
I've been playing various things. Mostly the same, but and some new stuff as well. So I guess I played it a lot. Whatever.
Whatever. Don't ask me.
Played Super Mario Party.
All right,
Yo, I want to play that.
Tony and I need the ground level take. How does Super Mario Party stack up?
It's actually really good.
Whoa.
I'm surprised how
Is it ironic good or good?
it's good for Mario Party good. I
Okay.
would say because it's been so literally bad lately as far as the last 2 or 3 entries because of the whole car thing, all in one car, and then you're getting mini stars instead of this one big star, stuff like that. But the games are actually decent and smart and well made again. It feels like the old let's say it this way, that game is probably, let's say 80% of the old school Mario parties as far as like the table turns and bullshit and stuff like that, and maybe like 20% of like let's just say like of like the newer, not as cutthroat type of stuff that it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's giving you mostly what you want. So like it's a good like 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 Mario Party. It's like what people want out of Mario Party, like you'll get it in that game. Not as hard, like not as cutthroat, not as like fuck you type of thing, but like you can get parts of it in there. You know, they have like I'm trying to get like think of examples. They have like normal stars, they have like a mini game after every turn again. One board. The board's not as interesting as it used to be. So like that's like probably the biggest flaw for that game. It's like the boards are just kind of like more or less boring, but like but there's still interesting parts to it, and it's just like this getting to that. It's like the folly of that, like seeing like how none of us played Mario Party together ever, but like you know, you, me, and Tony, we all like watch Mario Party and stuff like that. I think we'll have like a good enjoyment.
Watching a full thing of Mario Party is basically playing Mario.
Yeah, you're really in there. You're on the ground level.
No.
Scott Hart disagrees, but I felt like I was there.
Fucking mini games were like.
Listen,
do you know how they control?
They're bad. I know. That's actually
watching them does not allow you to experience how frustrating those mini games are and how much sense they don't make.
It's true. That's a valid question, though. How do the mini games feel control-wise?
They feel all right. Like there's even like emotion control in it, but like as long as you like know what you're doing, and like the motion controls are actually like responsive and like decent. I would have to say like better than probably the Mario Party 8, which is weird because that game was like nothing but motion control.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think you will honestly be surprised how Mario Party that game is, because I was expecting still a watered down version, even though they were going back to like the Game Boy and stuff like that. I was still expecting to be watered down and like still like not as like cut through as the older ones, but like even though it has softened on that a little bit, it's still a Mario Party game from like what people want from out of Mario Party. So like I'm surprised it's actually good.
Is there a 50 turns setting?
There's not. There's a 20 turn setting.
No,
but
this
like,
game is trash.
But the 20 turns last up to 2 hours, which is like
Jesus.
Because that's what we did. We were just saying like, oh, there's no 50 turns. That's weird. But like they said like the 20 turns last 2 hours. I'm like, okay, we'll just give that a shot. And like, yeah, it was like up to fucking 2 hours. And like, so it was like, huh, like the turns are smaller, but like, you know, it still lasted just as long as something like a 50 turns.
That's honestly kind of worse.
Are the mini games just longer?
No, not really.
What
like,
was making up the time, dude?
I honestly don't know. Like I guess the map. Like I don't know what took up so much time, but like it's weird. It literally lasted 2 hours.
When you walk into a Mario Party, really, you are walking into a little bit of a wormhole type situation where time seems to consume around you at a rapid pace.
I mean, obviously we're doing this during
Extra Life,
so you'll see for yourselves. And like I said, I think you'll all be like honestly surprised how like quality that game is. Quality and like, you know, like the attention to detail and stuff like that. Like you know, obviously it looks good because it's on the Switch, but like you'll see things like because Bowser's a player in that game. Like he's not like a Bowser. There's no Bowser space, but there's a bad luck space. And like what's his name? Kamek.
Yeah.
Kamek. He's like the guy on like the bad luck space. So like when Bowser lands on that space, you'll see like Kamek just like, oh, I'm sorry, Lord Bowser, I didn't mean like for you to be on here, and like I guess roll for your turn and stuff like that. And then like if he gets like a bad thing, he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just playing by the rules, I'm sorry. So like you'll get those little things like that. There's like even like there's a fucked up one like Monty Mole. He's a character in that game where like you could play a whack-a-mole type of game, and like you'll just see like the fear, not the fear, but like, you know, like he sees how fucked up this is, that he's like
the death in his eyes. Yeah,
that he's hammering other moles. So like that attention to detail is like,
awesome.
Wow. So that's
The real death in Monty Mole's eyes. I didn't know you could play as Monty Mole. That's fucking awesome. Cool. Thank you for being our sacrifice for Super Mario Party.
Well, my best friend Katie, her boyfriend Joe is like super into Mario Party. So like obviously he was gonna get it day one. Obviously he wants me to play like the other Mario Party games with him. He has a license plate that says Mario Party. So that shows how he's into it.
That's some Tony levels of crazy. Yeah, Tony's license plate says League of Legends.
I wish. There'd be a lot of characters for one.
It's like a 2-line license plate. It's the only one I've ever seen.
But yeah. But yeah, other than that, like that's been that game. But like other than Super Mario Party, I played the DLC for Overcooked, Surf and Turf.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's a bitch. That's really hard because I like even though like we got through Overcooked 2, I was feeling like that was like kind of like tame for what I've experienced in Overcooked 1, but like this DLC is like this kicks it up a notch. Like, okay, like we gotta like work together and stuff like that. And like they even like did a free update for the game where they added like a 4th star. So instead of like you just getting 3 stars, you get 4 stars. So it's like a new game plus for us. So like they want Joe and Katie want to go through that game again, like go for that now. I'm like, oh god, like I like the game, but like you guys like want to get like super serious about it. But like of course I'm down. I don't talk about my shit, but like
proud of you, no shit.
yeah, that's the thing I have to like get used to. Cause like with the Surf and Turf one, like you're making smoothies and you're making like skewers. And like when you're doing the skewers thing, you have to use bellows, like you know, like the flapping like wind thing that you have to like make wind to like you know, like the keep the temperature for the skewers.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Yeah, I didn't know people knew what bellows were. Well, like
I've not referred to that as like a bellows, or I've not heard that. That's accurate, but it's like, yes, I get it.
Mm.
That's cool though. The good meat skewer sounds real good right now. I'm gonna let y'all know I haven't eaten since like 11 today. It's 8 p.m. now. Your boy's hungry. Cool. What kind of smoothie are you talking about? Like grape smoothie, like strawberry.
Banana, strawberry, mix of banana, strawberry, pineapple, watermelon.
Watermelon smoothie sounds all right, actually. All right. Sorry, I'm just vicariously living through Overcooked now for my foodstuffs. Cool. What else you got?
Playing a little bit more Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And like I still have my issues with that game. Like I don't know why I'm so like caught up on it, but like the whole fact that she doesn't look wet when she's like in water just like fucks with me. And she like when she goes through mud, it's just like not even on her.
Yeah, you got to think about it. That was at this point I forget in Uncharted.
Uncharted, yeah.
Since Uncharted 1, and it's not just like a Uncharted thing. That's been a thing since Uncharted 1.
Like Assassin's Creed does stuff like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does, and I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it does. And like I even went back to like Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's like, am I tripping, or has this always been a thing and I just never noticed it? And no, she got wet in water, and like she's covered in snow when she goes in the snow and stuff like that. So it's like that's just a weird thing, and it's like it just bothers me because like it's one of those things where it's like it's 4K, it's HDR, it has all these newer graphics, it looks prettier than like Rise of the Tomb Raider, but like that one thing doesn't like do it, and it's like it bothers me.
It's weird. I guess
the character does not dynamically interact with the environment.
Yeah,
so most of this shit's kind of not important anymore.
I don't know. Like, 'cause I played a good bit of it this week. I don't know where I am in comparison to you, but
I got a Parasite out. That's like the last thing I did.
Okay, I'm a little bit further than you. I don't know. We maybe we can wait till it loops back around to me, but I've been very impressed. I guess I see what you're saying with that. But I guess it just doesn't bother me as much. I feel like the mud thing, I noticed, like I thought she like, because it is kind of a part of the mechanics of that game where you can like get covered in mud and use that as camouflage. I don't think I've gotten to where that is like an actual introduced mechanic. They kind of alluded to it a little bit. I don't think you've seen that yet, but I have very strong positive feelings for Shadow of the Tomb Raider so far. First few.
I think it's one of those things where it's like because it's just weird because I just like went through like I beat Mega Man X6. That's a terrible game. It's literally like one of the worst games I've ever played.
Hell yeah.
I hate that game. That's the one that's on my hate list, at number 4 on my hate list. Which is a shame because I thought I liked that game and apparently did.
Yeah, that is a bummer. I know you're excited.
Yeah.
Or hopeful at very least.
Yeah, but like but it's like one of those things is like
No,
like
wait.
okay.
Actually, real quick, I just want to note that your hate list. I don't need to know what 2 and 3 are because I know what number 1 is. Isn't it a bummer that your hate list includes games from franchises that are like your favorite franchises of all time, or does that like make the most sense?
I mean, there's only 2 of them.
Yeah, what Mass Effect and Mega Man X. What are the other 2?
Bionic Commando. No, but yeah, Bionic Commando, the 3D one.
3D one, okay, that's fine.
I did not like that one. And like LA Noire. Those are that. Was
okay, fair. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. That you like Mega Man X, the first one I did, or the first one, right, is like one of your favorite games ever.
Yeah, Mega Man X and Mega Man X4.
And then obviously Mass Effect, the OG, the only trilogy that ever happened because there were no other Mass Effect games. Obviously also one of your favorite games. So anyway, carry on.
What was I talking about?
You beat Mega Man X6, which is a terrible game. And then you were going to use that to talk about something in regards to Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Oh, right, because I was like, like I went back because like I'm happy I played Mega Man X6 and like found out I hated that game because it's like it gives me the perspective of like what's actually really bad and like what's like, it makes me value the good things that I'm playing and stuff like that. But it's like at the same time, like I got Valkyria Chronicles, I got Dragon Quest, I got like all these other games, and like I just don't have the time for like an okay game like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I'm feeling is okay now. Like I feel is mechanically sound, and like I said, I love playing that game compared to like something like the Uncharted games. But like there's Uncharted got more that grabs me that I really love about it. And I don't have that much with Tomb Raider. Though I like the Jonah and like Lara relationship is like everything else is like who is this character and like all this other stuff. So like or that character doesn't matter type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Miguel, for instance.
Shout out to Miguel pouring out. Oof, what a way to go. Anyway, yeah, I guess I'll talk about it now. I don't know. I booted up Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I played, I guess, the first like 3, maybe 4 hours. So I'm a little bit further than you now, Obshin. I don't know what it was. Like, it was one of those things with me. Rise of the Tomb Raider was, I just like completely forgot about it. It didn't end up on my like favorite games of that year list. It was just something that came and went for me. And I felt bad about it because I liked that game. I enjoyed the time I spent with that game. I think mechanically it's really good. But there's something about Shadow of the Tomb Raider that really hooked me. And like I'm pretty enthralled in it. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like I would say no one is more surprised than me. Because I was like, I guess I'll just play this and eventually I'll just forget about it. But I was like, oh wow, I'm like really into it. Like there's a great scene. Every scene between Jonah and Lara is very good, I would say. But like there's one that's just like really good where he's like, there's a disaster happening around you. And he's like, we can do something right now. And you want to do some bullshit that might not do anything. I'm staying, I'm doing this. You can wait. And it's like, it's really well done. And like the things about that relationship that I didn't think they could really play into, they have been, and they've been doing really well of like, it's kind of in the Nate realm in Uncharted, but like they're taking a very different angle with it, which I appreciate. But like her, like that scene ends with her not saying anything because she just looks ashamed, and it's like really it it hits home because of that. Like you see this conflictedness in her. Especially they have like a conversation on an airplane after that. That's also very good.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe because it's this video game time or whatever, because like you have to move on to the next thing. But like it seems like she's just like okay, and just like moves on after that. But like I said, that's like the time gap thing for playing it and what it actually is in the game. So.
Yeah, I'm. They like there's like a tension there that is continued that I really like, and I think like there's like some figuring shit out to this story. I feel. Also, I thought there's an early game scene where like a flood happens that I thought was actually pretty well done. It's like no music; it's very eerily quiet. Like all you hear is the sound of rushing water, and I thought it was pretty effective. But yeah, I don't know. I think it looks incredible. Just visually, like the jungle looks very good. There are parts that like if you look too close, you'll be like, okay, this doesn't look as good as other games that have done jungles recently. See Uncharted 4, but it looks very good. I think it's very visually impressive. And Lara looks very good, and like her facial expressions look very good. Her face is too clean, but aside from that, like she has no imperfections. She has not a single freckle on her face, and it's like, all right. We get it. Camilla Luddington looks very good. Yeah, I don't know. I've been really, really impressed by it. It has hooked me more so than Rise of the Tomb Raider did. So, what else you got on that mission?
I started Mega Man 11.
Mm-hmm.
That game is excellent, pretty good. Like it a lot. It has issues. Mostly like I would say like because I was playing it and I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this and like this is hard, it's difficult, but I'm still enjoying it and like I like the way it's presented and I like the way that like I like the bosses and I like all this stuff, but like there's something just off about this game. And then like I heard it twice now, and like I think it really is what it really is because I heard it from Aaron from Game Grumps and I heard it from Gerard while I was looking at the completionist for that game was that like it's the sound design in that game. This is like it's just not good. It's like it's literally just bad in that game, which is like really weird because like because like, it's like one of those things where like the music isn't memorable like whatsoever, and like music is like one of the big things about like Mega Man. It's like everyone takes away from it. It's like it's just really. Like, that was like a really big miss for that game. Like that's like a whole like, not like it's a game changer or something like that because like the game's still good, but it's like if Mega Man was like these four things, you're missing you're missing a quarter of that game. So it's like that's a big knock for that game.
Yeah. You can't take away that Mega Man's original name was Rockman.
Yeah, dude.
Because
Yes,
he rocks hard. Is the music good? Or is that part of it?
For this game?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. It's like it's just nothing. Like it's more a background thing than has ever been like in literally any of the Mega Man games. So like that's a weird thing for that.
For a Mega Man game, that is not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people die hard by the soundtracks. You weren't on the episode I talked about it, but I played the demo and I was like, cool. I don't need to play Mega Man 11. I didn't really enjoy myself with it, which was a bummer because I was honestly kind of looking forward to Mega Man 11, having not really played any of them. But it was just like I played it on like the newcomer to Mega Man difficulty mode, and I realized all the spots where I was like falling or something were spots I would have died and had to restart. I was like, cool. I'm glad I played on this mode because I would have had zero fun otherwise. And I was just hard out. But
yeah, but it's like it's creative and it's like it's really fun to play. I'm enjoying it a lot.
The gear mechanic thing I think is really cool. Yeah, I think it looks good too. It like I played it on Switch, so I think like the anti-aliasing you notice a bit more. I don't know where you're playing it in option, but
PS4.
Okay, I bet it looks very good on that. So in 4K, Mega Man and his little animated 4K-ness. Cool. Would you describe it as simply perfect?
No.
Oh.
It's a flawed good game. that I really enjoy.
Nothing wrong with that. Swimming in sevens, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. It has everything that makes it good, but like just certain design decisions that like makes it like just a little bit of a miss, but like like once they if they do a Mega Man 12, they're like I think they'll knock it out of the park type of thing.
Yeah, this is them getting back in the groove of things. I think like as long as they get the mechanical parts of that, it's more important to get that here. I know like obviously like you guys said music is a big part of it, but I think they're setting themselves up to build off of this, and I think that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a weird thing. It's like even though like even though 11 is like a flawed game, like it's catching my attention more than like I should play the Messenger, but like I just want to play more Mega Man. So yeah.
It's also $30. It's not a bad deal. Anything else?
Just more about Valkyria Chronicles. I haven't gotten too much farther in that game, but like
I appreciate the
just
text
loving-
updates though.
Yeah, just loving literally every second of it. Just
So good. It like
savoring everything.
enjoy it. I talked about the squad stories over the last couple of episodes. The game's been out for a little bit now, so I'm like, how many? I have 3 squad stories unlocked, or I had 3. I have 4 unlocked now. They're like side stories with some of the ancillary characters of your squad. I found out the way you get them is a little less interesting than I thought it was, which is a bummer. But I was like, how many of these are in this game? I'm like, I thought there was like 6 maybe. There's 17, which is crazy. So like that's like 17 totally extra optional missions that you may never see in that game, which is awesome. It's just like I'm like 38 hours into that game at this point. I'm like, how long is this fucking video game? I just played through another chapter. Man, the end game of that game it does not pull any punches, and it sucks. I think like there's nothing I hate more than failing a mission in Valkyria Chronicles because it is such a time investment, and I think there is a little bit of difficulty spike at points that is poor or frustrating, but every time you go back into it and you kind of like have the knowledge of like what's coming and how to prepare for it, and you're like, ideally it's a balance, right? You go to a mission, you try and prepare as best you can. Something happens that you weren't expecting, and you deal with it, right? That's like the Fire Emblem moments of clarity where you see the lines of the Matrix. But it is also good to go to a mission, something happens, you're not prepared for it, you fail, but then you go back into it and you're like, I know what to do this time, and you like crush it. So it's just finding the right balance between that, but those late game missions are fucking hard, dude. Ugh.
Have you tried the save in between thing?
No, I haven't tried it. I typically will just give up and start again. I will say, like, in this game, it is like I'm like calling in reinforcements so much more. Not just like, oh, I have to evacuate this person because they died or they went down, and then recall them from a camp, but because it's like, all right, I've entered the second phase of this battle and I need 3 of these guys, or I need 2 shock troopers and another scout, or I need 3 tank people. Like, you have to prepare to do that too. It's not a thing of like that is unintentional, or I prepared poorly. It is a thing of like, okay, I have gotten to this point of the map, or the kind of beat of this mission, and I need to call in these people now. And that feels really like, I feel like that was just something that you never really had to do in the first game, and it feels necessary and important here, and it works really well. But yeah, I'm glad you're still digging it, dude. It's phenomenal. I already have an idea of the score I'm going to give that game, and it's very good, let's say. Cool. Anything else?
Like other than like getting Game Pass, like nothing really of note. Like I played a little bit of Forza Horizon 4. That game seems really good. And the game I could like see myself like just playing just for like something to have while I listen to a podcast or something like that. That seems like a great game for that. Yeah, like there's nothing much really else to say about it. It's a very good game.
Yeah. I did the same. Like I downloaded Forza Horizon 4. I played a little bit of it. It seems good. I don't know, I think it's kind of boring, to be perfectly honest. But there are moments of excitement in it. It's just like the driving in it doesn't give me a whole lot personally. It's kind of what I ran into when I tried Forza last time. But fuck, does that game look good?
I think it finally clicked with me why because like every time I ever tried Forza before, I never really like. I guess I understood it as a racing game, but like I never really like got it. But I think I got it this time because like I'm understanding the line now.
Yeah.
And like like the biggest thing about Forza, which the kind of like thing I like someone criticized it about that game is like you were pretty much like looking at the line the entire time, and like that's how you get through that game. So like you're more looking at the line than you are looking at the world. And that's like my only like really like knock against Forza. But like I'm understanding like when the lighting changes colors and stuff like that. That's like how much you put a brake on and stuff like that. And now I'm getting the feel for that. So that makes it really good.
I think
that's honestly the reason why I got into racing games, because I talked about it a while ago, like a while ago. But Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
I'm kind of salty that 5 kind of bombed, and it's not that it didn't do well, is that it didn't deserve to do well.
Yeah.
With what they came out with it.
I know people did like 6, but that was like a game that came out like after the PS4 was out for PS3. It was in a weird spot.
Gran Turismo's always done a good job with being a driving sim rather than being a racing game.
Yeah.
And if I'm going for a racing game, I'd much rather play something closer to Mario Kart. If I want to play a driving sim, like sort of how Forza tries to be, I'd much rather not deal with the tedium of the back end of it, and I'd rather go for something like Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
You want the 100%, not the like 85. If you want to like go full into a racing sim,
right? And then it's in the big gripe I have with it is, one, the line thing, which is like, it's not that accurate, and that's what really bugs me. And so if you're looking at the road and you're looking at the line, what you think you should do if you didn't have the line is very different.
Yeah, I've definitely run into stuff where it's like, I feel like this isn't the best path. Especially, the line doesn't also encompass like passing. It is very much like kind of everyone's on that line, and you gotta know when to go around and how to go around, and that has gotten me into a lot of trouble when I just played a brief bit of Forza Horizon 4.
Right, and there's a bunch of other games that do that a lot better.
I know, like, in its defense, like, I know there are a lot of settings that you can tweak to make it more sim or less sim, and you can turn off the line, but I appreciate, like, Forza has, like, Forza Motorsport, the numbered games for their more simmy stuff, and then Horizon for their more racy, fun stuff. So I appreciate that they kind of pulled it out, but I see what you're saying. I don't know, it was just, I every time I try and get into Forza, it's just a matter of, like, I think ultimately maybe those games just aren't for me, which is fine, but it's just kind of I see so many people appreciating it. I'm glad I could at least download it and try Forza Horizon 4, but it's just like, I did like the first hour and a half maybe, and like there's one mission that's kind of fun where you play as like a stunt driver. And you do big jump, and I thought that was kind of cool, and I played around with the photo mode, and I took some pretty pictures. Game looks incredible. But it's just a matter of like, when I'm like driving, it's just kind of boring for me. Like, I hate to say that. It's just like, for me, like when I'm like hitting a good drift or something, like I'm more frustrated, and it's less it's less tactilely rewarding than like a Tomb Raider, for example. But that's fine.
That's more of the reason why I'm like more into like something like Burnout Paradise than I am to like Forza Horizon. But yeah, like I got it on Game Pass, so like I tried out Game Pass for the first time, and like it's slick for what it is. it's just like it just have the library or what I need to like actually do it. But like I really just want to try out Forza because like I always talk about like getting Horizon 3 and it's never like never getting around to it. But like I did that. I downloaded Sea of Thieves even though I'm not gonna play it that much. And like played Ninja Gaiden Black, which I'm shocked. Shocked to like because like obviously I know it's a good game. I love Ninja Gaiden Black. But like I've always played the Sigma version of it on PS3. So like I'm surprised like the differences between it. And like it makes me just want to go back to playing Sigma again. So like which I started earlier this year, but I dropped. So like yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to.
Cool. Yeah, I like Game Pass a lot. I'm 6 months committed now, so I'm in through March. I'm pot committed, as the poker boys say.
Question.
Answer.
Because we didn't commit to this, and like, so like if you don't want to like put yourself in a box, that's fine. But like for like Devil May Cry, were you like planning to play that before 5 comes out, like beat it before then, or are you just like fucking whenever? Because we never
we never set a thing. We could do whenever. If you wanted to set a cutoff period, that would be fine.
Okay.
I'll leave it to you, to your discretion. If you want to add more stakes to this, because I do need to beat it. I started it. I have it on my Xbox. I just have to finish it.
Yeah, that's before 5 comes out. That's all.
Okay. I got till March. I can do that. I should beat it before Kingdom Hearts comes out, realistically. But we'll see. I feel like I could do it. First week of January, there's nothing going on then. Nothing's happening. Cool. Yeah, I dig Game Pass quite a bit. Tony, Mr. Horvath, video games.
I watched more video games than I played this week.
What'd you watch?
I watched every game so far of the entire group knockout stage of the League of Legends World Championship.
Do you like? You fluctuate so much. Do you hate? Do you hate League or do you like League?
I don't know. Like I like playing League, except for some very frustrating moments.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always liked watching like the League esports when I'm into the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Do you of the two, would you prefer to watch League or Dota?
League.
Okay.
But only because the games are more fast paced.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you know,
I have a
I don't know. Also, right now I'm into League, so
yeah,
it's easier for me to say League than Dota.
Do you think there is a moment in 6 months from now where you've stopped playing League and you've started playing Dota 2 again?
Probably not.
Okay.
The game has changed a lot.
Yeah, this is more of a non-related question, but how many YouTube advertisements for League of Legends do you see? Because I see an average of 3 a week, and I don't know why.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Honestly, sometimes I'll see all 3 in one day. I saw 4 League of Legends ads last week. I counted. They're all from different YouTubers who I guess play League of Legends, but it's YouTubers making YouTube ads for League. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel about it. It's constant.
It sounds like you need to play some League.
I feel like I am being ensnared. Like they're, like the fucking devil plant thing.
Do you want to know what's weird?
Yeah.
You know how Tony and I play League a lot?
Yeah.
I've seen none of these ads.
It's because they know, right? I'm their target market. Like I played League. I had like a midnight tryst with League. And they're trying to get me back in because they know I have that addictive personality.
Like the weird part is every once in a while, I will watch a League video. It'd be really weird for them. And like I have moments and weeks when I don't play.
Yeah.
So it's weird that you get them, though you haven't played in years.
All the time, dude. All the time.
And then I haven't seen a League ad in years.
It's just like they're weird advertisements to begin with because they are like, I don't know if any of you've ever seen any of these, but they're like these YouTubers talking in
I've never seen a League ad.
It's so weird. They're like YouTubers talking in like cutesy or funny voices, and like typically like a hand drawn or hand animated like bit of like somebody sitting at a computer like, oh, you like video games? Here's a video game that you would like. And like it's them describing what a MOBA is to someone who doesn't know what a MOBA is. It's like it's a game where you can play a protector, a healer, or an attacker, and it's again, it's no in-game footage at all, and it's weird. It is surreal. Now I'm like taking it out of context. I'm like, if you were someone who had never heard of League of Legends or a MOBA, but played video games and watched YouTube, and like you are this weird small pool that they are trying to target with these ads, which is me, I guess. Like, how would you react? I will find like uploads of them. I'll send them to you guys just so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Okay.
How's League, Tony? How is the esports league?
It's fun to watch, man. It really is. There's not much more to say about it than like, esports can be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And League, this is the competition for the year for League.
Yeah.
So while it's not, we haven't gotten to the point where it's like, knockouts and like, the top 8 people or top 8 teams or whatever, that hasn't happened yet. We're getting, we're seeing the teams that have the longest road. They've already played 4 games just to get to like the best of 5s that happened this week. 4 teams out of the 12 are already gone. Another 4 will be gone after these 5, and then the top 4 from those 12 will be into the actual tournament, which starts next week, I think.
Okay.
So it's cool. Yeah, there's a lot to it, and it makes it fun to watch.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed those brief times where I have sat down and like watched like any MOBA, like competitive play. I think like it's a very easy because it's 2 teams of 5, 5v5. It's an easy game to commentate, or it's not. I shouldn't say easy. I don't want to like belittle the people that do commentate those
Not
games.
commentate, but like if you were to describe, let's say that you talk to somebody that had never seen a MOBA before, because I know that you have.
Yeah,
you could pretty easily describe what's going on in the MOBA.
Yeah, and I think
it's easy to follow.
It's easy to follow, but it's also like easy to get excited in the moment. Like when a team fight breaks out, like it's exciting.
And there have been some bangers so far. I'll let you know.
That's cool. Have you been playing anything?
Yeah, so I played some Destiny 2.
Yeah, you did.
And then I promptly quit Destiny 2.
Yeah, it was the fastest turnaround time ever. No, we're going to get you back in. We're going to get you through after the podcast.
I don't know, like I logged in, I was like, do I want to do these 2 expansions before the most recent one? No, I don't. So I boosted my character because why the fuck would I spend 12 hours doing content that's old?
I mean, to see it.
No, who cares? No one cares at all. Those expansions were the reason why I quit the game. I'm not going back for those.
Damn, ice cold.
It's just is what it is, man.
I think the second one's all right. But, I don't know if you're a huge lore guy. I don't know how deep into the lore you are.
I am, but I can watch a YouTube video for the lore and save myself 12 hours of subpar content.
My name is Bife. He's got your back, Tony. Again, I personally wouldn't describe some of that content as subpar, but fair enough. So you jumped right into Forsaken stuff.
Yeah, so I did like 2 missions of Forsaken, and it was like, hey, you have to do the dumbest boss fight we've ever made, and they kill you in 2 hits if you don't do it in the exact way we want you to do. I was like, all right, I'll get back to this when I have like someone to co-op this with, because this is stupid.
It's so weird that you got hung up on that, but I mean, we each have our own things, so yeah, we'll get through it. Then you can at least see what else is in there. Anything else? You play anything else?
No, I think it's just that for me.
Okay. I played some video games. I also played Destiny 2. We played the raid. We still didn't beat the raid. There's an archive of that video. It was 6.5 hours. You can go watch it. I'm not going to fucking sit here and tell you what happened. Because I don't want to relive it.
Wait, so what happened?
Yes, Nalbashin. Yes.
How is I guess our circle of friends who play Destiny? How are they feeling
How are they feeling? I don't know. I know Mike is in the same spot as me in that we've both played a lot of Destiny. We played a lot of Destiny to get ready for this raid. I didn't after that. I was like, cool. I am at a power level where I don't need to grind stuff out. I got the exotic bow that I wanted to get. Kind of talked about that last week. I played way too much Destiny. It has been taken away from my personal life and other video games. The only reason my Valkyria Chronicles 4 review is not out right now is because of Destiny 2. I am ready to like just play it maybe once a week for this raid team and for that.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Why did I buy this game?
Well, I'll play with you, Tony. You know that. But I have to like backpedal a little bit on my Destiny 2 play. That's where I'm at. I know Mike is in the same spot. That group of people that we were raiding with, which is a lot of new faces, they're all, for the most part, loving it. They're playing it like every day still. And most of them are committed to continue playing it for a while to come. So,
but like Sean, is he back in there? Sean Pitts, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I feel like he was, and then he was out.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking. Really, like, are people like in it? Because like it, like just from my limited Disney, I can't see as much as I used to. But like, it seems like it was like here and done. But like, I don't know.
It's really weird because I'm surrounded by a lot of people that are still playing it a lot, right?
Okay.
So those people I know are committed. Cam is like in. I know Trevor Starkey, who played the most Destiny of maybe any human.
Right.
For
kind
some
of almost
reason,
against his will, sort of.
mostly against his will, I think. He is chipping away at it. He's playing every week to get his power up, so he's raid ready.
Zyger
is playing. I don't know. I know because he's been watching us stream the raids for the most part. So he's. I don't know if he's finished the raid at any point, but he's been attempting it at least on a weekly basis.
Okay. And Andrea's just been traveling everywhere, so that's why I'm feeling like is people still talking about it?
I played a little bit of Destiny.
She was my big Destiny person, so
yeah, I played a little bit of Destiny 2 with Andrea Renee. I think last week.
Okay.
We played Gambit. We lost. Here's the thing. So it was Andrea, myself, our mutual friend Drew, and Mr. Pandamusk, playing Gambit, which is a 4-person team. This was our team. We played against the same team 3 games in a row. They beat us all 3 times, and they were all assholes. And they were like dancing on our dead bodies when they would invade and emoting and not like taking it seriously, but still destroying us. It was very frustrating. So there are those times, multiplayer competitive video game times when you're like, I don't want to play this right now, actually. Have you played any Gambit, Tony?
Dude, I've only played like 2 missions of Destiny 2.
Yeah, you should try Gambit. I'm just saying, it's a new mode and you should try it. I think you dig it.
But I'm not max level and don't have the good gear, so why would I go into Crucible and get myself killed?
It's not necessarily Crucible. It is partly PvE. So
why would I go into PvE with guns that are trash?
I mean, they're not complete trash, man. Give yourself some credit.
I have a question actually about Destiny 2.
Yeah.
So can I, or is there like the same as what it was in year 1, where like Destiny 1, where there's year 1 and year 2 weapons, or can all weapons just kind of be used?
There are year 1 and year 2 weapons.
Oh, okay, so all my exotics are trash.
You can. It's finicky because some of those. So like they've gone back and up because I'm not the best person to ask about the exotic stuff. They've gone back and updated some of the exotics, but like
capped at low light.
No, like you can still infuse them up to modern. Like you can bring anything into year 2. Like so, the exotic that I'm still using a lot is Lunafaction boots, which is a year 1 exotic. That is still great, and it got even better in the expansion because of the new subclass for the Warlock, or the new tier of the subclass. So there are some that are still very viable and used a lot. I'm trying to remember. There is one that is from the second expansion, actually, that is technically year 1 that most people still use, which is the Whisper of the Worm, which is basically the Black Spindle from Destiny 1. just kind of reimagined for 2. So there are those. If there is like a particular one that you still really like, I would bet that it is still valid to use. I would say that much.
And so, but like old legendaries all trash.
Old legendaries all trash. They're new legendaries
cool.
now.
What if I liked some of those?
I think if you like some of those, if they had roles that you like, or like,
I saw that all of my mods were also garbage.
all mods are trash, which is a thing I'm not super stoked about. But they,
I had so many mods.
yeah, that whole system is gone.
And it was like, hey, you should probably delete these.
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
literally tells you to trash them too. And it's like, this is
and I got mod components, but apparently mods are useless. So what am I doing?
so like mods are now literally just like extra perks that you can put on your gun, or like the cool thing that they have done is there are some mods, like there are raid mods that will drop from the raid that will only drop from the raid. They're very rare and have like really powerful perks that they can add onto any gun or any piece of armor. So like they've made mods more interesting in some regards, but like that whole system of like 5 power from a mod or whatever, that's all gone. But everything, it's back to random rolls like Destiny 1. So some guns don't have random rolls, some guns do. So if there is a legendary that you liked before that had set rolls, you can get it again. And you can, when you pull it from your collection, which now includes everything, not just exotics, you can pull those legendary guns that you liked from before, like a Ghost Primus, for example, a gun that I still really like and still use. When you order it again, it'll come at like 500 or comparable to whatever power you have.
Weird.
So
yeah, it was funny coming back to the PS4 version because I logged in and I was like, wait, where's all my fucking shit? Oh, right, I had everything on PC.
Yeah. So
and I only had like the bare minimum on PS4, so it's like, man, that fucking sucks. I had all the shit.
did you have like all the exotics?
I had all the exotics for all 3 classes. I had like full sets of all the armor that like looks cool and stuff. I had, a couple, like the flawless emblem and a bunch of other stuff.
Damn. I feel like you played
wow,
Destiny.
I don't even have that.
I feel like you played Destiny 2 less on PC than console too.
So here's the thing,
Man.
like on PC, everyone, like, I already knew what I was doing when I started playing Destiny 2 on PC because I'd already done everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to clear all the raid 3 times per person every week.
Yeah.
And do everything because like everyone's available. You can just hop in voice chat with everybody, get everything done. It takes 4 seconds to put a party together on PC, where on PS4 it can take you like an hour to find a party to do something.
Yeah.
And there was also like I knew like 100 people who were playing the game.
Yeah.
So I always had people to do stuff with, and like all the objectives for the clan or whatever were done on the first day, or Trials in the 9 would come around and then we'd go flawless on the first day and get all that. So it's just like I think the efficiency of doing all that stuff was higher on PC, and I was probably also a little bit luckier.
Yeah, I think y'all have a good group that you play with too, and that helps a lot.
Well, the funny part is I didn't play with that group that you're thinking about at all.
Great. Cool. I played Destiny 2, Tony. I played it.
Hell yeah.
We got to so there are 5 encounters in the raid. We got to the 3rd one, and that's when we stopped. For point of reference, like I said,
So you completed the first and then you completed the second.
yes. It is, that raid is very different. I like it. There are parts about it that I like and parts about it that I don't like. I would say there are more parts that I like, but it is like, it's not the kind of raid I'm used to, I guess. Like my friend Drew compared it to like more of a WoW raid, where it is like there are not really buffs that let you do damage to the boss, which is a thing that Destiny raids have leaned on a lot. It is more of actual phases where you just DPS the boss. And you just shoot. You're not like doing anything special or extra to damage the boss.
There's still like tethers and like bubbles to stand in, like Titan bubble and stuff.
Yeah, and like so like the new Warlock subclass is called the Well of Radiance. It's a huge rift that is both empowering and healing, and it lasts for 30 seconds. So it's like clutch for any boss damage phase. So like everyone's standing that, they're grouping up, they're doing damage. But it's not like we got 30 stacks and now we do so much damage to the boss. It is just now we group up and shoot the boss a whole lot. But the mechanics, because there are no buffs or stacks or things like that you're building or gathering to do damage or more damage to the boss, you are instead doing other things, and those other things are very interesting. The second fight in that raid is fucking super cool. And it's chaotic and it's crazy, but it's like I've never played anything like it. It is the boss has like 16 health segments, and there are like segmented checkpoints that you go 2 and 2, and you have to do a full block of their health at each one, and you are like constantly moving. And if you stop moving or you slow down too much, like that it's like a 4-minute timer per phase, and it's brutal. But it's very cool. So that's definitely my favorite encounter so far. The first one is also very cool. It's a little bit dumbed down, like most first encounters in Destiny raids, where it's like just kind of introducing stuff to you. And the third one is very difficult. And it demands a lot of different levels of communication, as most of the raids do. But the final boss, I had somebody like, I was at the point where on Sunday where I was like, I'm fucking tired. Just tell me like how crazy does it get? And they were like explaining some shit that goes on in that fight. And I'm like, fuck, this sounds so difficult.
That's so much.
Yeah. But like, that's what, you know this better than anyone, Tony. Like, you just got to really live it, and you got to see where everything is in the rooms that you're in and what you have to do. So hopefully it'll be easier when we actually get to it. Destiny 2 is still very good though. Like, I don't want to give the impression that I'm not enjoying it. Lore-wise, story-wise, like the stuff I was talking about where like they're creating like this loop in this area of the world. Like, they address that. They're continuing the story into the new weeks, and I'm really excited to see how that story grows as this game grows. So, that turned out longer than I thought. I apologize. Forza Horizon 4 we talked about. Shadow of the Tomb Raider we talked about. Forza's cool. I really like Tomb Raider. I'm really into it. I'm excited to play more. Valkyria Chronicles 4 we talked about. I'm like deep in that game. I'm like chapter 13. I feel like the end has got to be close. But now I kind of want to do all this side stuff. It's very long. It's very good. That game is jam-packed with stuff to do. If you want bang for your buck, boy howdy does it have it. And I started playing Stardew Valley a little bit. It's my nighttime game. It's like that.
It's all right.
Into the Breach. The game is all right. I just started a new character. I'm like going very, very slowly because I'm not playing it that much, but it's a fun like before bed game.
How's that high storm, by the way, this week?
This is fucking buck wild, dude.
Yeah, dude, it was crazy.
It was so crazy. It's like the second crazy rainstorm that's happened in Maryland in the last month, and it's so dumb. I don't know where it's coming from. Hurricanes, maybe. Who knows? And then the other big one is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That came out this week, so I got it, and I've been playing it. First thing I want to get out of the way, because I don't know. I don't know if something's wrong with the game or how my Xbox has been playing it. The game does not look as good as I thought, as I was expecting it to. It's a weird thing, but like it graphically looks a little poor in a lot of places, to be perfectly honest. Which, coming off of Origins, which I think looks phenomenal, I was really surprised by. But my thing is, I don't know if it was playing like the Xbox One X enhanced version of the game or the standard Xbox version of the game, Xbox One version of the game, because when I booted it up the first time, like HDR turned off halfway through it, and I had to restart the game to get it to go. So I don't know if I've been having weird, like a technical bug with it. So I just want to say that up front. That it's not really affect my experience. It's just like I was playing it, I'm like, this game doesn't look that good. I don't think. That might change. I've since deleted it off my Xbox and re-downloaded it. So when I play it tonight, maybe it'll look different. Just want to say that up front. Outside of that, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm about 2-3 hours in, maybe. It's a very slow start. But I don't know. That game is really cool for reasons I guess I didn't necessarily expect. I'm still pretty early on in it, obviously. It is, boy, howdy. Like, the first scene in it, it's not a spoiler, but I guess if you don't want to know anything, skip ahead. The first scene in it is the 300 Sparta scene, like the famous fight of 300, the Battle of 300. And I guess I was just not expecting it, but
Like literally?
it's literally that fight, yeah. Like you play Leonidas, the Persians are invading. It's not like the fight where they lose, which I think is what happens in that movie. I've never actually seen it. Like Xerxes is not there, but they reference Xerxes. You are the army of 300 Spartans, and it starts with that. Like there's a whole speech and everything. That's the opening of the game. What's cool is that's how the game starts. There's no fucking present day bullshit until after that scene. So it kind of gets your hopes up of like, oh shit, they're just going for it. It's just full, like in that time, blah, blah, blah. And it's, they do it because spoilers, not shit. They're fucking setting up for some bullshit alien artifact type stuff that was present in that battle. That good Assassin's Creed shit that you like. But I don't know. It seems like they've gotten away, or they are getting away from a lot of the Assassin's Creed stuff that was kind of the foundation of the previous stories of that game, of that franchise, and they're kind of setting up something very different and new. I don't know. I'm obviously very early on, but like they do that, and then there's like a modern day scene that's very quick, and then you're in it, which I like. What's different here is, so like Assassin's Creed Origin kind of starts you like a fifth of the way into that story, for lack of a better description. Like you are Bayek, he is this Magi, this protector. His son has already died. He already has these people that he hates. Him and his wife are already going through this kind of tough thing, and you are kind of thrust into this story of hunting down this group of people, and you are like in it right away. This is different. Like, it feels way more, kind of reminds me of Dragon Age in a weird way. It reminds me of BioWare RPGs a whole lot, which is a good thing. Not like modern BioWare RPGs, like Mass Effect and Dragon Age 2, like that kind of era. Because you were really playing like the origin story of this character. Like I've been playing Cassandra because why would you ever play Alexios? He seems super lame. Full stop. Apparently his voice acting isn't as good as Cassandra's, if you want like a logical reason, but he also was super lame. So there was a look involved that for audio listeners. But she's like just some nobody. People know her because she has an eagle that follows her around, and she can see through its eyes. On the mechanical level, I don't know if that's ever addressed in the story, but it's cool because people think she's blessed by Zeus because his symbol is an eagle, and they say he watches people through the eyes of eagles. Little God of War 2 reference for you there. God
of War 2.
Yeah, remember that part where he was like the eagle flying around in the beginning of God of War 2, and then he turns into Zeus and he stabs you.
Oh, I was thinking God of War, the one.
No.
No, I'm thinking about Odin. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you good. Odin has crows, right?
Yes.
All leader gods have just a bird that they chill with, So like people think, because it's ancient Greece. What's cool is the locations in this game, from what I understand, and this is just what I've heard, is not really based on fact. It is through the lens of what Greek mythology was. So like the statues and the temples and all that are kind of put together by myth, and it's built on myth, and the locations are built on the stories told about those places versus being one-to-one recreations, which is really cool because it makes it feel like kind of an original world. It feels like an original fantasy RPG in a weird way, which is really cool. It's not a feeling I expected to get out of Assassin's Creed. It kind of makes me want this team to just fully drop the Assassin's Creed label and maybe just make fantasy RPGs, because the RPG parts of this are really great. What I was saying with like that intro battle, it's like it just throws, like, you have an ability set on the D-pad or like on the face buttons that you hold LB left bumper and press a face button and you do a special power like full on Dragon Age style. And I was like, okay. Or like you can do a Spartan kick or whatever. That's one of the powers. Or like a charge that does massive damage. Just like does 320% of standard attack damage. It's just like, okay, this is a fucking RPG. There's damage numbers flying off of dudes. It feels very RPG. Like they throw you right into it and you're like, all right, this feels like a RPG. From there, like, you got dialogue choices, you've got awkward cutscenes between the scenes where people are talking remind me so much of Mass Effect, because it's like, why is everyone moving so much? Like, why do you have to like just move a little bit every single second that you're talking? It's so weird. But like that's like old school BioWare in a weird way, which is, it's weird to say old school BioWare when it's like mid-age BioWare, but it's totally kind of like that style of game, and I think that actually really works for it. It makes it like kind of charming in an unexpected way. But yeah, it's, Cassandra's a nobody. You're building her reputation. Like, this is her story from beginning to end, instead of you kind of jumping into this section of her life. Obviously, like, there are flashbacks to when she was a kid, and you learn a little bit about her family through those. But like, for the most part, you are just playing her story from what seems like beginning to end, and I think that's really cool. It's different from Origins in that regard. But yeah, it's hard to say, because like, again, I don't know if it was rendering correctly when I was playing it, so the world didn't like look super detailed in a lot of places. When I was climbing stuff, it didn't seem super detailed. I'll say like they made the climbing even less. Like, I didn't see any handholds when I was climbing stuff. It kind of reminded me of Breath of the Wild. I just looked at a wall and just did stuff, and I found a way to up it. It didn't really think about it too much, but it looked kind of awkward jumping from like just flat wall face to flat wall face. But it lets you get around, and climbing seems like way less of the focus this time around, which is probably for the best. It's just weird to think of like the graphical fidelity of climbing in Assassin's Creed used to be like one of the cornerstones of that franchise, and it just seems like it doesn't matter in this game. So like those people that are saying like it's not Assassin's Creed, like I feel where you're coming from, but it is turned into something different that I think is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm pretty early on. It's a little janky, little open worldy janky, but it's very charming because of all those things, like the weird gesticulation during cutscenes, like the sometimes weird voice acting, the jankiness when you're walking around. It all reminds me of BioWare at its best, and I mean that as much of a compliment as I can muster. I've been enjoying myself so far, but I've not gotten the chance to play as much as I wanted, because I was just chipping away at other things, and I haven't had any time to play anything today or yesterday, and so I only played it kind of after midnight when it came out. So far, so good. It's cool. Cassandra's fucking cool. She's sassy as hell, and I love it. Do you have any specific questions, Amashin?
No. Other than like, does it play like Assassin's Creed games?
It's again more along the lines of Origins, which is weird. So like Dark Souls-esque, it's shoulder buttons for attacks. The big thing is you don't have a shield in this game. There's no shield, which was like a huge, either you love it or hate it, or it break the combat for you in Origins. In this, you just have a parry. So if you press the left and right bumper at the same time, at certain points in the attack, you do a parry, and then you can repose them. But yeah, it's R1, for lack of a better term, to do your melee attack, and you just do that a whole bunch. But you have like abilities, like I said, you have like hunter abilities, which are like abilities when you're stealthing around, and you have combat abilities, which are abilities when you are in combat, that you can access at different times, and they have cooldowns, and they do certain special things or do extra damage, things like that. You have 3 skill trees, a lot of the stuff that you would remember from Origins. It's very good. Like I think it's fun. Like I wish it didn't feel as weird or janky or look as janky as it does now. But if it does, I don't think that hurts it. But it definitely like I should say I don't think it hurts it that much. But it takes the kind of gleam and polish off of it. If it ended up it was a weird Xbox thing, great, all the better. I'll probably be even more enthusiastic about it next week in that case. But yeah, so far so good. I played a little Dead Space 2 for our book club. I kind of already talked about that. I just played the first 3 chapters. The first episode of the book club that we were recording this weekend is the first 5 chapters. So if you want to play along with us, play through the 5th chapter and then come watch us talk about it. And I finished Spider-Man. The Marvel's Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man. And I really liked it. I was like really, really impressed by the end of that story. I thought, and I'm sorry now, I shouldn't add salt to the wound. But I thought like there was a lot of emotion in like the last 5 scenes that like really worked for me. Like I would say I was kind of just along for the ride for a lot of what I played up to last week when I talked about it, when you guys told me I was really close. So I just kind of buckled down and played through. But like when everything kind of comes together and pays off in the end, I was like way into it. It really hit like the kind of stuff between Pete and like the main antagonist of that game really paid off for me. Like that there's a kind of final scene between them that is like amazing. I thought it was phenomenal.
Are you like cool with Spider-Man now or something? Because like you just calling him Pete?
Yeah, you know, me and Pete, we we go way back. That like it's just because characters in that game refer to him as Pete so much. I think like that the kind of culminating spoiler end scene of that game, I guess that a lot of people are more sensitive about, so I'm not going to say what it is, but like it's a very emotional moment that I thought was done phenomenally well. Like it is a very good the story that they're telling of that game is like Spider-Man's life meets Peter Parker's life, and you know, it is one of those kind of classic stories, but it's more of him in adulthood versus him in teenagehood, which I feel like there is just less of those stories told in major multimedia.
Generally the ones that are him post high school just aren't good.
Yeah, and I think this is one post high school that is really good. And so like the way that they kind of build that narrative up to the very end paid off. Like it's one of those things where like I didn't know how invested I was until it like I got to the culmination of what they were building to, and it really, really worked for me. So I was like really, really happy with like kind of the through line story of that game. Even like stuff like Mr. Negative got like a really cool, like the way things wrapped up on that and the way they kind of unveiled information about that, I was really into. Mike Burgess in his review, and when we talked about it earlier this week, he said that he kind of felt like it was spinning too many threads at the end to kind of set up for other stuff, and I really do kind of agree with that. I think there's a whole plot with a character that they were kind of setting up that kind of pays off in the end, where I'm like, I appreciate you introducing this character into this world and setting him up as something that's going to be a thing in the next Spider-Man game that inevitably happens, but I do feel like we just I didn't need it the first go around. You know what I mean? I was confused by the kind of quote unquote post credit scene that is setting up for the sequel. I don't know what to take away from it, but we'll see. So I think there's a little bit too much of it, like setting up the Spider-Man video game universe. And what Silver PR said in his voicemail last week, I didn't really put together until I finished the game. I was like, oh yeah, there wasn't any of that. And that's a bummer because I would have preferred that. So that is also another thread that was being kind of set up throughout that game. So it's spinning a lot of plates at the end. I don't think it does it poorly by any means. I just think the It does take a little
It
bit.
feels like it's beating you over the head with
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah, there's a lot of. It's like a lot of like, hey, there's gonna be another one of these, or like we really want to make another one of these, which is great. Like I want Insomniac to make another one too. Don't get me wrong. It's just I'm trying to.
Yeah. From what I hear,
Mhm.
and now from you,
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a really good story. So yeah, I'm very happy for Insomniac. I'm happy they made this game. It's weird because it's bittersweet, right? Because like this might be my least favorite Insomniac game, but like also that's a really high bar for me. Not I shouldn't say my least favorite Insomniac game. There are Insomniac games I like less than this, to be clear. But it might be my least favorite Insomniac franchise so far, because I am so deeply attached to Ratchet and Clank, which, to be fair, they are also probably making another one of those. Their South Carolina studio is probably. North Carolina, thank you. I really liked their original Spyro thing. Sunset Overdrive is fine. So probably put this above that. But also I recognize I really liked Ratchet and Clank at number 3. The first two were fine, but number 3 was when I was like way in. So like if they kind of give Spider-Man the treatment that they have given their other franchises of like the first one, it really sets the tone and then they really nail it mechanically as time goes on. Then I'm very, very excited because personally, I guess I'm in the vast minority in this regard, but like I couldn't give less of a shit about all the side stuff in Spider-Man. I thought most of it was boring, repetitive, frustrating, and bad. So personally, I thought the main story was great and some of like the collectibles really cool, but the side missions, like the actual things where you go and talk to a mission giver, I thought were all dumb that I played, and I thought like there were way too many of the bases, like enemy bases, where you go and fight just infinite dudes. And I like the combat in that game. It just feels like it drags on forever, ever, ever, never. In those moments, at least. So those are the things I kind of want them to improve. But again, I'm in like the super, like nobody agrees with me that I've seen, as far as I know, about that in particular. Most people are like, I just wanted more Spider-Man. I can't wait to swing more and blah, blah. And more power to you. But it just didn't work for me. So, but yeah, Spider-Man's good. I liked it. Was it one of my favorite games this year? I don't know. We'll see how it shakes out. But I was really, really happy with the end. I think there's some phenomenal moments in the end of that story. But that's it. That's all I've been playing. Sorry. I know I talk a lot. You guys want to take a break?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about some news, I guess. It's not a lot to talk about, but we got some. And
Some breaking.
breaking news. I might know about this. And we will listen to a voicemail and make some bets and throw it out. So we'll be back in just a little bit.
News in gaming.
Let's talk about some news.
Did you know Call of Duty comes out next week?
I do, because I went in and I canceled my pre-order on Amazon before I forgot. October 12th, baby.
Wow, I slipped by me. Like I said, I'm in a
Slip
new
you
place
and
as
everyone.
far as like news, but like I don't know if that's just a me thing or just like that's like a common consensus.
I think there are people that are still excited for Call of Duty, but I think it is not an event like it used to be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a thing that the whole industry is expecting. It's especially weird because this is the first time Call of Duty in, I think, like 10 years has released in October instead of November. It's weird. I don't know, man. Call of Duty, Black Ops 4. That the Battle Royale mode is good. I'm excited to see people do buck wild shit in it. I'll watch some YouTube highlights of that. But
Did I mention to you that like I think that mode like will kind of like it will put into light that like Battle Royale is just more of a mode than is the game. So like I don't know if I talked to you about it. Like,
you didn't. This is interesting. Go on.
Because like I think it will bring them light that it's more of a mode again. So like Fortnite will benefit because that's free, but like something like PUBG will kind of suffer because of that, because this is paid for, and like any other like clones of that game will like fail. Oh, not fail. I'm saying that's too harsh a word to say, but like I just think that like that will bring that to light, and like it'll kind of like expect more out of those type of games now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so like I think they're suffer. That's the word I'm looking for. Suffer.
Yeah. No, I think that is a really good point. Like Battlefield is going to be in the same boat. Battlefield will have that as a mode in addition to the stuff that they have.
Right.
And I think I can't speak to the Battlefield one because I have not played it. I haven't heard anything about it, honestly. But I think the Call of Duty one is very good. It's very well made too. And I'm going to assume the Battlefield one is. They delayed that game till November. A little bit of news that we didn't talk about a couple weeks ago, but you know, to make that game better is what they said. Which is the first time Battlefield's been delayed in a long time, I think. So I feel like they are taking it seriously and they are trying to make that mode ready for launch. I think it was because that Battle Royale was not going to come out until November, and that's why they pushed it back. So yeah, I think you're right. I think you're onto something, Nabishan. I'm going to be curious what the reception is. Like free-to-play games, I think are still going to be fine. Like H1Z1 Battle Royale is now on PSN and Xbox One as well. And there's like another one, I think. I can't remember any names. There's like that weird one they announced at TGS, the Japanese PUBG, or Korean or Vietnamese PUBG, whatever studio is developing that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it being kind of an additional thing to Call of Duty and Battlefield is gonna maybe change the landscape. It's also one of those things where maybe it was cool up until the big guys did it. It's one of those kind of hipstery things.
I hope it'll make me think like maybe PUBG will go to free to play.
I think it will at some point, and I think it'll do great on free to play. I think it still does well,
sure.
but
I think it's different enough to be like, oh, this is like a different kind of game than like something you get out for money or Call of Duty. This is more of a tactical game.
I would say like Call of Duty hits a lot of the notes that PUBG does, though, and I think it does a lot of them better personally. Because it is militaristic and it is tactical in a lot of the tools you get. It's a little bit goofier because you got like the kind of zombies kit of tools in the Call of Duty PUBG as well. And you got a wingsuit instead of a parachute, and you can kind of throw that out there when you jump off a high place. But Call of Duty's just got that movement and that feel down, and it feels really good. It feels like Call of Duty, which still feels good. Say what you will about it, but it still feels good. It still runs well, in addition to all the militaristic and tactical stuff. So, and that smooth 60 on consoles makes a difference for me, at least. News, video game news. There's not a lot this week. Nabishan, you just brought over our break. You brought to attention. Skybound tweeted out that they're finishing The Walking Dead, the final season, in collaboration with Telltale Games. The kind of story that developed over the last week is that the kind of skeleton crew they had left all got laid off. I think at the beginning of the week. So that thing that they said were like, hey, we're leaving people to kind of finish our business with our investors and whatnot. That didn't pan out, I guess. Maybe they couldn't even pay them, so they had to lay them off. I assume that's what I assume happened. I don't know for sure. But yeah, that Skybound just tweeted that out just now, I guess. So Skybound has partnered with Telltale a lot before. I believe they published some of their stuff before. I don't quote me on that. That might be wrong, but Skybound Entertainment has published video games before. I can say that. And I don't know. I'm curious to see what that looks like. A lot of people rightfully were saying that, hey, maybe you should pay the people that didn't get severance before you try and make the last season of this game. Because they were trying to get a solution together to finish The Walking Dead the final season for the last 2 weeks since the news broke. But so Skybound has ported the Walking Dead seasons to mobile, for reference. So, yeah, I didn't really see a response on that. Like, hey, maybe pay your guys before you do this. That's really been it. So I don't know what the situation with that is. Obviously, we don't have all the information in front of us, but I don't know. Story is still developing. Look out for that input episode on this because I'm sure they got more thoughts. The big kind of story this week, which is cool. Like I as someone who's out of the news writing game, I was very briefly in it a while ago in like 2011. I'm not usually there when stories break, but somebody who I will not name DM'd me saying like, hey, I think you should look at this because I think this is legit. And it was a video of a leaked Harry Potter RPG. Now, to be fair, this video about an hour later was all over Reddit. But I was pretty stoked that I just got to be one of the first people to see it. It's a YouTube upload of a third-person action RPG, it looked like, where you could create a character. And it was set in the Harry Potter universe. It looked good. It looked like Unreal Engine 4 style good, with like particle effects and things breaking down. It was a off-camera footage, apparently from an event held like in a public place. I don't know. Everything about this sounded weird. It's from someone who recorded the video of the trailer on their phone, and they didn't sign the NDA, so they didn't feel bad about uploading it to YouTube. But it is like phone recorded footage of a trailer, it looked like, of this Harry Potter action RPG. Looked cool. It looked, like a third person shooter kind of, but like there were skill trees and there was create a character and you were casting spells and there was interacting with magical creatures and goblins and whatnot. It looked cool. I was honestly way into it as a huge Harry Potter fan. It's kind of like a dream come true. Build your own character, go to Hogwarts, do wizard shit. That sounds like a great video game to me. It went up on Reddit shortly after, and it was everywhere shortly after that. But I found it, and Nabishan, what was the first thing I did when someone sent this to me? I sent it to Bear Courtney, of course. And I got his raw reactions. So you can go listen to the Beyond from this week and see Barrett dressed up like Harry Potter, but know that I was there first. But yeah, we talked about it. We were very excited. It seems like this is a game being developed by Avalanche Software or Softworks or something like that. Software, thank you. Which developed Disney Infinity. And so some people were speculating that this might be Rocksteady's next game. Does not seem to be the case. Because WB Games really only has those three studios. They have Avalanche, Rocksteady, and then WB Montreal, I believe, is the studio.
Monolith?
And Monolith, you're right. Man, we haven't heard from WB Montreal in a while. I think about it. I wonder if that's still a studio. I think Arkham Origins was their only game. So, yeah. So it's safe to say that, I mean, when WB made a bunch of acquisitions of game studios, like we all assumed that they were kind of getting more serious about video games. They said as much. But something like this is kind of like what I would want them to do. Like it's in the vein of like the Arkham games of like, hey, we have this big property. Let's make an actual good video game with this property. Like, let's get a real video game developer, not like a studio that puts out shovelware or licensed games in 8 months. Let's get a studio. Let's get them together. Let's make them make a real game. That's what this feels like. Again, it hasn't been fully unveiled or officially unveiled. But WB put a copyright claim on the video on YouTube and took it down. So it's probably real. I don't know. It sounds cool. What did you think of this, Nobshin? I don't know if you had any thoughts.
Not really. I'm just curious what kind of game this is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it going to be what those Harry Potter games were and like the PS3 360 era, where it was like cover based and like, you know, just I think using Stupefy over and over again.
Yep.
Or is it just going to be something like the older PS2 games where it's just like it's pretty much going around Hogwarts and like and just doing that, because like I know people liked those games a lot, the older ones, but that's more of like a PS2 generation, so I don't know like how that would fly now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a cool. The concept is out there of like, you are a 5th year Hogwarts student that was basically accepted late, so you're coming in at year 5. It's set in the 1800s, so very, very much before any of the Harry Potter stuff, which is set in the 1990s. And I don't know. You play like a late to the game student. Create a character, make your own RPG, male or female, whatever you want. I don't know. I really like the concept of it. I've always kind of dreamed of a game like this, as any fucking kid that wanted to go to Hogwarts. I think there is so much room to make a very good one of these. On that episode of Beyond from this week that Barrett was on, our good friend, he even brought up the concept of like a bully game where you go to boarding school, but it's just Harry Potter instead of bully. You have to attend classes. You have to do well. There are mini games. There's dumb shit. There are character interactions. But maybe a bully game with also RPG elements, with also like skill trees, and you learning new spells and using them in fights and whatnot. I don't know. It seems that the gameplay that leaked seemed very action heavy, but I guess we'll know soon enough. My vibe that I got is that this would be unveiled at the Game Awards. So that's my personal speculation. I have nothing to go off on that.
Not at the Xbox Day?
No, it's possible, but I don't know why anyone would pick this as an exclusive or a thing to show at an exclusive place. So I thought it would just be the next big general thing.
Okay.
Do we know if Sony's doing a Paris Games Week press conference?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're really backpedaling off for the end of the year. In our Slack, Jarrett referred to it as Sony plays the pretend the PlayStation 5 doesn't exist game, which I thought was an apt description. That's it for news.
Is it funny that The Last of Us 2 is going to be The Last of Us for the
It's going to be
PS4
exactly the same thing, but for this generation console. Yeah, it's funny.
That's weird.
It's cool though. I'm good with Naughty Dog like throwing out the gen. Really, I mean, Nobshin, you're forgetting Beyond Two Souls was the swan song of the PlayStation 3. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. They didn't really throw out the gen.
Yeah, it really kind of like just lit it on fire and poured one out on it. Scott, would you play a Harry Potter RPG?
I don't know, to be honest.
That's a fair answer. I just know that you were at some point into Harry Potter, so.
Yeah.
Tony, would you play a Stormlight Archives RPG?
100%.
Me too. Strong agree. I just want to let
How
you know.
far are you in there now?
I haven't listened to any this week, so I'm still like right at the same point.
As you were like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, because I had to play a bunch of fucking Destiny.
Had to, huh?
I did. I still have to. I have to play with you, Tony. I'm never gonna abandon.
No, that's the only Destiny that you have to play. You can skip everything else.
That's true. You're right. You're my Destiny, bro. I'll never forget.
No, you'll forget, but it's gonna be okay.
No, don't say that. You know, I went through. You can initiate the thing that pops up when you play for Destiny 2 for the first time, where it shows you all your memories, all the raid completions. I went through and I got all nostalgic about all of our raids that we did together again.
Yeah, like wow, dude.
Love this boy. Let's take a peek at the mail sack. Remember, you can be a part of the show by tweeting your questions at IrrationalPod. Use the hashtag IPQ. Or you can email us. Mailsack@irrationalpassions.com is the email address. I'll say this. I love emails. So if you have a more long-form question, please send it in. I'd love to read it. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337. Standard long distance fees do apply. I don't say that enough, but you can do so just like our good friend Silver PR did. Let's hear what he had to say.
What up, guys? Silver PR here. I hope everyone's doing good and well. Now let's talk about random stuff. I mean, got no new game experiences to talk about, so just got a lot of 2 cents and thoughts about some of the things that I have in my mind. So let's get into the chit chat, shall we? First of all, I'm just waiting for Spider-Man DLC to come out. First week, no announcement from Insomniac. Worries me that it's gonna be released at the end of the month. You know, I'm right now in economical lull, and Spider-Man was the only thing I could afford a whole summer. I got nothing to show for in the fall. FIFA 19 came out. Assassin's Creed, I heard good things about it. Although I should play Origins first, and I guess that one's a little bit more cheaper by this time around. WWE 2K came out. Obviously, wrestling games, not everybody's a fan of, but I'm a sucker for those. And Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be the biggest hit for me. Like, man, I cannot afford that game right now. And that's going to suck. And, I mean, I wouldn't even expect that game to be downgraded in value on Black Friday, because I think Rockstar is really notorious about not selling their games on the cheap in the first months, even if I think like in the first year. So I wouldn't even expect the Red Dead Redemption 2 sale in Black Friday or in December.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So, I just have to suck it up and just keep moving on. And speaking about Spider-Man, that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I think it's called, trailer that came out recently. I mean, I remember I saw the first trailer a couple months ago. And, it was like, okay, that's okay. But this trailer showed a lot. And it was hype as F.
Can we do a quick hype check? What's Into the Spider-Verse looking like for you now, Option?
Oh, that's looking fantastic. Like, potentially the best Spider-Man movie for me.
Potentially, yeah. Scott, have you heard of this movie at all?
This is the animated one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You should look up the trailer 2 for it. It's the one that came in. It's the one that trailer Silver PR is talking about. I think you'd really dig it. It looks really good. It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me that Sony is making this movie at the same time that they're making Venom. Like,
dude,
it like
not necessarily a spoiler, but like at the end of Venom, like after their mid-credit sequence,
they show like a big chunk of Into the Spider-Verse, right?
2 or 3 minutes of that, and like I had no idea that was going to happen. I was like, wow,
that's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, because Into the Spider-Verse seems to like totally get what Spider-Man is, like respect the lore, has all these cool different interpretations of Spider-Man that are out there in the world. It's got great casting. John Mulaney is one of my favorite comedians, and he plays Spider-Ham, and like Nick Cage plays Spider-Man Noir. It's like top to bottom. Jake Johnson as Peter Parker, as like old shriveled up Peter Parker. Top to bottom, it looks fucking great. And it's like, how is somebody making this movie at Sony and then somebody else was making Venom? It's just... Anyway, we can resume now.
I mean, yeah, it's another universe, Miles Morales and whatnot, and then you got the older Peter Parker. You got Spider-Man Noir, that's one of my favorites. You got this waifu chick, Japanese girl. Is she even canon? And obviously, the one that everybody's talking about, Spider-Pig. Because, like, Okay, wait a second. I remember The Simpsons, the movie, and that was a joke. Now, did the joke become reality? Because I don't read comics that often, but I don't know if this is or a parody of themselves, or if this is something that it's real. I don't know. It's just hilarious. The whole trailer is awesome, and Christmas cannot be here too soon. I want to watch this movie.
Looks great.
Also, let's talk about Ubisoft for a second. I commend guys like Jeff Sterling doing his content and his journalism, if you want to call it that, and calling them their BS and making all these special editions and whatnot. I mean, Ubisoft, it's a little bit lovable. People commend them. They pity them on E3s back when they were almost taken over by Vivendi. But their business propositions of making so many special editions, from 7 to 15 of those, depending of the AAA game, it's kind of ridiculous. And if you're gonna call a game Ultimate Edition, why the game doesn't have the whole package of content? It's kind of stupid, don't you think? I mean, oh man, it's just ridiculous. And not to get into even started with all the microtransactions about different little pieces of armor sets and whatnot and boats and whatever. It's just dumb. I mean, might as well just, don't do it. Don't do it. But I guess this is their model. This is how the way to nickel and dime without doing loot boxes, I guess. I don't know. So, oh, Ubisoft. And also, let's talk about Telltale. I mean, it's been 2 weeks. Everybody's been talking about it. Everybody has got their opinions about it. Obviously, I'm upset and I'm really disappointed. And if you ask me, I wouldn't even sponsor these people no more. I would not give them a cent, even on a sale. I don't know if I'd even consider grabbing any other PlayStation Plus game from them, because if I click it, maybe I'm thinking I'm giving them money through Sony to them. So, I don't know. It feels weird, but at the same time, I'm really upset that they took a lot of risk. I haven't even played like 2 or 3 seasons of The Walking Dead at this point, so I'm like not interested in The Walking Dead. But I'm really, really upset that there's not going to be a Wolf Among Us season 2. That was the only thing that I was expecting from them, and there's not going to be a reality no more. So I'm going to vote with my wallet, and regardless of sale, free or whatnot, I'm not going to give them none of my attention. Unless
Dunked on.
they're back into a new administration and nobody that was responsible for the actions of leaving all these people unemployed are gone. And that's just my 2 cents about that.
I respect that.
And last but not least, My Hero Academia ended season 3.
Oh, it's
And
ended?
I'm here
Yeah, it's
sulking in.
Got it.
When is season 4 gonna start? Spring is too far away. They say coming soon. As coming soon is not a season coming in like waiting for spring. Man, give me more. Give me more of My Hero Academia. I mean, there's the movie and whatnot, but man, I saw that last episode and I was like, oh, one more. Saturday's gonna be so empty for me. Not for you guys. Your guys are awesome. So yeah, that's pretty much about me. So without further ado, have a fun one. Have a happy Saturday. So PR signing out.
Thank you, Silver.
What a man's man.
What a man's man. I'm bummed. Silver PR works the night shift, so he doesn't have the time to go see the My Hero Academia movie. He's super bummed.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. They did extend some of the showings in the local area.
But it's still probably like 2:30.
Yeah. Sucks. My cat came and sat on me while we were listening to that voicemail. I'm gonna move my mic over to him so you can hear what he sounds like right now. Very loud. This happy cat. He's got like knots in his hair. What do you do, Gus? I respect where you're coming from about the Telltale thing, though, Silver. I definitely see what you're saying. Like, took a lot of risk, and a lot of people lost their jobs and lost severance because of that. So I definitely feel you on that. I didn't know the My Hero Academia season 3 was ending. I mean, I guess I should have realized it couldn't go on forever, but that is a bummer. But how many? What episode is the last episode of the season?
I don't know.
26?
61 total episodes. That's how Funimation lays it out. 61 was the big fight. So I don't know how many episodes after that.
The next season's gonna be insane though.
I bet. I mean, you know because you read the manga. I'll say like it's crazy because like season 3 had like I would say 5 distinct arcs in it at least.
Something like that.
Maybe probably more. Probably like 7. They're all very good. And again, just the way that show is paced, it's just paced so well. But yeah, I would say like it's not gonna be that long. I feel like it'll go by pretty quick. If it's spring, like March or April or whatever, probably April, but it'll go by quick, and we'll be back to it. And then Game of Thrones will be on too. Tony and I can watch Game of Thrones. What really
What? I
matters?
don't care.
No, I'm gonna get you into Game of Thrones.
Jesus.
It's happening. I think
Tony,
that's-
what's the next thing you're gonna love and just like completely dismiss like later on?
What do you mean?
I'm just being funny, but like, God, man, like, cause like it seems like the things that you love it so much for that moment, they just like ended up disappointing you so hard, and then
That's
like
true.
This is really true. You
You
love
just,
it too
fuck
hard.
it. Yeah, and then like they come back, and then like you just come back to love it again. It's because you're just that type of guy. You're like, I can't be away from you.
Aw.
I did. It's true. You will love something so hard that you ruin it for yourself. Which I kind of, because I do the same thing in some regards. I respect that.
Yeah, I love it. I love that about him.
We didn't get any other questions. That was really it. But thank you,
I just
Silverpear.
expect people to be better than they are. Let's be real.
That's true. You have high
Sure.
expectations. You should. Don't let people
Yeah.
disappoint you, Tony.
Scott never disappoints me. That's why he's the fucking man.
Hell yeah.
Are you sure? I feel like I might really have to try.
We've reached the end of the show as we received no other questions. Some other stuff I'd like to throw out there real quick, just for your listening pleasure. Some other stuff I would love for you to check out. If you liked this show, go and rate us on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play or Spotify or wherever you're listening to it. We would appreciate it. It would help us a lot. Check out our other podcasts like Input and Get Acquainted. They're all from Irrational Passions. And you should also listen to some of our other shows that are on youtube.com/Irrational Passions, like Podcast Ultimate, Video Game Book Club. Mike Burgess, the video producer at IrrationalPassions.com, is going to be doing Halloween streams throughout all of the month of October. Every Friday at around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 to 7:30 he'll be starting. Last night he played Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4. It was like retro themed Halloween games. So he started with Castlevania. Scott White and George Cruz, as other big Halloween fans, are going to be jumping in on this as well. So if you like spooky games, or if you like just October, Halloween, those kinds of themes, because they're not all going to be scary, you should go and follow on twitch.tv/Irrational Passions. And if you like Destiny, I mean, tune in every Sunday, because we're going to be playing this raid for the foreseeable future. So I feel like we're not even close to finishing it. So buckle up. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, IrrationalPassions.com. It's the place to be.
I was thinking about playing
Destiny?
Evil Within 1 and 2,
Mm-hmm.
just to have something to like. Cause like Katie asked me like, oh, we should play a spooky game because like 'tis the season and shit. But like, there's nothing like a Outlast and
no new
Resident Evil
equivalent.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Man
I
of
think
Medan
probably-
is not out yet.
the what?
Man of Medan, is that what it is? Is that what the title is?
I
The
have no
new
idea what that is.
super massive game.
Oh, that one. Yeah. That's next year.
Just play the Evil Within 2. I know you can't because you're you, and I understand. But I'm just telling you. Or play Resident Evil 7 again, because that game's great.
I want to play Resident Evil 2 before Resident Evil 2 comes out.
I don't. Because I'm good, actually. I want to play the remake. But we've reached the end of the show. Now it's time for bets.
We already discussed this.
I'm sorry. Tony said bets during the break. Really threw me off my game. I'll see if I can do some editing magic to make that work. This week's bet, written by Mr. Brian Option Jackson. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 releases on Friday, October 12th. In the IGN written review, how many times will the word duty be used? This is a good bet. And now, to be clear, it is duty, D-U-T-Y, not
D-O-O-D-Y.
Yeah, no. Not duty. Regardless.
That's dirty.
It's funny. It's still funny. Oof. I mean, I imagine it's just going to be during the title, so it's got to
We're
be.
gonna double down on NATO, by the way.
No, you guys can't. You can't.
No. We're doing it.
No, you can't.
No, we can't.
You caught up. You're in the lead now. You can't do it from the
All
lead.
right.
No. We're in the lead. We're still doing it.
No. You can opt out of your bet this week, but I will not give you 5 points again. If anything, I should be doubling down on NATO. Tell NATO I love him. Just to be clear, I'm going to assume this is going to be just in the title. I don't know.
Why, you think they use COD a lot?
No, I don't think they
You
use
think
COD.
they use blops?
Ooh, they might use blops. If they do, that reviewer should be fired on the spot. No, I'm just kidding. kidding. I would say, I'll say they'll probably say Call of Duty in full. What's yours now, Mission? What's your bet?
Or are we?
Yeah, you said it. Whatever.
Yeah, I suppose.
Whoa.
Sorry, I know I do normally say it.
Whoa.
I respect that bet, though, Nabashin. It's weird. People can see the text chat on the stream. I got to put it away before Tony sends us another picture of anime boobs.
Right now.
It's too late. I bet 4 for your guys' reference. So Tony bet 5. Scott bet 2. Nabashin bet 12. I'm nice and like lodged right in the middle of Tony and Scott, and Nabashin, you got the high end. So I feel like we're in a good spot. This is some strategic shit. I appreciate it. Trying to win here.
Really, we should be betting blind here, not trying to, prices right each other.
No, we are betting blind, but it's good to have a good range,
I feel like Alex just waits until everyone else bets and then picks the best number.
No, I write mine in the note before I even look at the
Okay.
chat.
How am I supposed to know that?
Because I just told you.
How am I supposed to believe you?
Last week's bet. I don't know,
He's
Tony.
dodging the question.
I don't know, Tony.
He's guilty.
Trust me as a friend. I'm your friend, Tony. It's really nice seeing you guys this week. I know I suck and I never come out of my house.
God, you were so late.
I know. I
got so many mosquito bites.
I felt so bad. But it was really nice seeing you guys. Last week's bet. This time next week, what will the trophy percentage be for the Assassin's Creed Odyssey trophy ramming speed? The description of the trophy is to cleave a ship in half. We were referencing PlayStation Network trophies. This is the only one with percentage.
Xbox has percentage.
What?
Xbox has percentage.
They do?
Yeah, just discovered that like a few days ago.
Wow. That's cool, I guess. That's kind of cool.
I think I had that picture on tap, by the way, Alex. Took me a second.
I can't look at it is the thing, because then the I don't doubt that you fucking had it. I mean, so I'm looking at PSN profiles. I guess it doesn't really matter either way. It's weird because like it'll show a percentage, and then if you hover over it, it'll show a different percentage.
Why don't you look on your app? Don't you have an app?
I do. I don't have it pulled up though.
Okay.
I deleted it and put something appropriate in there for you.
Okay, I'll pull that up for the live chat for people watching the video version. Very good. This is very good. This is very appropriate.
It's one of my favorite gifs on the internet.
It's a
right now.
phenomenal gift. It's the hentai hat, everything. It's good. Chef Gersman for listeners at home. Either way, so the one that it says when I look at it is 45.29%. And when you hover over it, it's 38%. Either way, Scott wins. So, boo. I bet 21.8%. Tony bet 20%. Scott bet 30%. I didn't realize I did the same thing to Tony 2 weeks in a row. And Nabisha bet 10%. I've not done this. Also, I don't want to be clear. I'm playing on Xbox, full disclosure, so I didn't even have a say in this, but I've not done this. I've not cleaved a ship in half. I met a guy that has a boat, but I've not gone on the boat yet, so I haven't had the opportunity yet, but I guess it's not that. I assumed it probably would be pretty common, but it's more common than I thought. Scott, that means you've won a final say, final word on anything you want to reiterate or disagree with here at the close of the show. Do you got anything?
Bet.
You're perfect, just the way you are, Scott. That's the show. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks everyone for tuning in live. If you did so, thanks everyone who just downloaded and listened to it on their podcast listening device. I appreciate all of you, all the same.
40.4%.
40.4. Oh, wait, that's the accurate one?
Yes.
Okay, so it is the one. It is the one that is like not when you hover over it. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Danny Wiesner, for opening music of The World is Saved and our closing music. No, opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. I don't know how many times I've fucked that up because I just kind of space out at the end here. Thank you, Blessing Adeoye Jr., for tuning in live right at the end of the show. Because you're a beautiful boy, regardless.
I guess fuck Cam, but okay.
Yeah, fuck Cam. He's been here for a while. I talk to Cam every week playing Destiny. He's good. He doesn't eat my fucking face. Oh, I should have talked about Extra Life during this show, but it's fine. We're at the end now. Extra Life is November 10th. Get ready for it because we got some exciting stuff coming. That's it. That's the end of the show. Thanks, Nobishin. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Tony. I love you guys. Big hugs all the way around. I've been your host, Alex Emil. Play your game. Stay rational. We'll talk to you all next week. Titles.
God, it's Jello. It's in the game. League of Legends. My license plate. Beat you over the head with sequel. And Wingardium Leviosa.
How hard did you were you proud of that joke, Nobishin? Not very, probably.
I don't know any Harry Potter spells that are Stupefy and Wingardium Leviosa.
I'm surprised you know Stupefy. That's a good one.
That's because it's
the only one you need, dude. Avada Kedavra.
It's because there's a song called Stupefy, a
Disturbed song.
So like
I'm going to stupefy.
And so I saw like a video, like maybe what's name?
Do you think Harry Potter thinks about that?
Oh, dude, he fucking lights up a doobie and fucking listens to Disturbed on the weekends. That's all he does.
But yeah,
I think it's a good one. What do you like, Tony? What do you want the title to be?
Any of them are good for me.
You gotta pick one, Tony. I'm sick of this fucking socialist bullshit.
I like the Harry Potter one.
Guardian Leviosa. That is pretty good. Scott, what do you like?
Yeah, I like that one.
I like that one too. Let's do it. Tony and Scott.
Is it Wingardium?
Wingardium Leviosa is the actual one.
The Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 397.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Perfect. You can stop recording now.
I thought it was Wingardia. I don't know.
It might be Wingardia. Wingardia Leviosa.
Hey, Alex, I'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We are now going to go offline, but I appreciate all of you, and have a good night.